Hi, welcome to Passion Week by Jalissa Kirk. This is a overview of the synoptic gospels for my class in Pathways. As we begin, you can see the table of continents. We'll be going over Palm Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Holy Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and Resurrection Sunday. As you can see, we're starting off with Palm Sunday, and this is the day Jesus enters into Jerusalem. On Palm Sunday is known as the day Jesus triumphed into Jerusalem, where he is greeted by a crowd of people giving palm leaves. This is the same crowd that will shortly crucify him on Good Friday. Jesus is also known as riding in on a donkey. His accents proclaim that he's a king, however peaceful. But in wars, kings rode on horses. Jesus is making a statement that he was coming as a humble servant, the Messiah. As you can see, as we're going on to next, is Monday. This is the day Jesus clears the temples and curses the fig tree. On Monday, Jesus clears the temples of buyers and sellers. He doesn't clear the temple of Gentiles, but for them. Religious leaders plot Jesus' death. And then on the way back to Jerusalem, he curses the fig tree, as you can see in Mark 11:15 through 18. On Tuesday, Judas agrees to betray Jesus. Judas agrees to betray Jesus. Jesus is given his famous Olivet Discourse, which talks about all of the things happening leading up to the Passover days. In the Olivet Discourse, it talks about, and as in Matthew 24:3, as listed below, as Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately. "Tell us," they said, "when will this happen? What will be the sign of your coming to the end of age?" Jesus answers in three parables, picking it up in 26:1-5. When Jesus had finished saying all these things, he said to the disciples, "As you know, the Passover is 2 days away, and the Son of Man will be handed over to be crucified." Then the chief priests and the elders of the people assembled in the place of the high priest, whose name was Caiaphas, and they plotted to arrest Jesus in some sly way and kill him, but not during the feast, they said, or they may riot among the people. On Holy Wednesday, this is the day of the bargain of Judas as a clandestine to spy among the disciples. Holy Wednesday is also known as Spy Wednesday and is often marked with the service of Tembric, which is Latin and correlates to darkness. This darkness often correlates to Jesus' mourning that he will be betrayed by his disciples and that he knows that in 2 days he will be gone. On 4, you can see we're celebrating Maundy Thursday. Jesus is arrested, betrayed, he washes feet, eats the Last Supper, and Peter denies him. On Maundy Thursday, Jesus has his Last Supper by starting with washing the disciples' feet, telling Peter he will deny him 3 times, and getting arrested in the garden. You can see references in the verses below. On Good Friday, Jesus is crucified and buried. On Good Friday, the same crowd that praised Jesus for that following Sunday, before Sunday, is now saying crucify him on that following Friday. Further trials of Jesus ending in his formal condemnation and handing over to Roman authorities, he's tortured and crucified in his death and burial. Jesus' enthronement as king is being lifted up on the cross. The Romans put a sign above his head mocking him, calling him the King of Jews. Jesus' death provided a permanent way for people to be reconnected to the presence of the living God despite the failures. Holy Saturday is the continuance of the beginning of the Sabbath of that following Friday. As continue on the Sabbath and that started on Friday, guards went to send to guards to guard the tomb so the disciples couldn't steal the body. Resurrection Sunday. Jesus is resurrected. Jesus is resurrected and appeared to more than 500 believers that is ascended, as you can see in 1 Corinthians 15:3-8. The overall meaning of the Holy Week is a celebration of the prophecy being fulfilled. And the Great Commission being sent out and given. As it says in John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. In Matthew 28:19-20, it's given the mission of go and make disciples of Jesus Christ and love them on them as your neighbor. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Synoptic Gospels previews, especially on Holy